everybody. We're going to do a little bit of news. The lead story this week is a tragic one. I'll try to go through it slowly. There's several pictures here. A construction worker has been killed in a cave-in at the bridge of U.S. Highway 27 and 441 in Lady Lake. The accident occurred Wednesday afternoon when the worker, who reportedly was operating a Bobcat-style piece of equipment, ran into an obstruction and climbed down into a hole to investigate. A retaining wall caved in on top of him. He was soon buried in the rubble. Numerous fire trucks and emergency personnel were summoned to the scene, and the frantic effort began to try to unearth the trapped worker. The village's public safety department joined the effort to rescue the worker. The Florida Urban Search and Rescue Team quickly positioned its members on the bridge in the rescue effort. However, at about 6 p.m., the rescue effort officially shifted to the grim task of recovering the body of the construction worker who was presumed dead. Medical examiner's office arrived on the scene at about 6:30 p.m. A large septic tank type truck was also at the site. Witness said it appeared the septic unit was being used to suck out dirt and water from the hole as part of the recovery effort. This is a terrible tragedy, said Lady Lake Mayor James Reitz. The mayor was still processing the tragic event Wednesday evening and was monitoring the situation along with Lady Lake Police Chief Roberto Tempesta. Traffic had come to a standstill on U.S. Highway 27 and 441, and cars were backed up as far beyond the site of the accident. The contractor for the project is Southland Construction Incorporated, but it is not known if the worker was a Southland employee or a subcontractor. His identity had been made public Wednesday evening. Southland representatives and Florida Highway of Transportation officials recently met a Water Oak. Southland representatives and Florida Department of Transportation officials recently met at Water Oak on U.S. Highway 27 and 441 with Lady Lake Commissioner Ed Freeman, a resident of the 55-plus community. Water Oak have been concerned about traffic issues in the area. Freeman described the Southland and FDOT, Florida Department of Transportation representatives, as receptive to the concerns which had been raised. He was watching from his home in Water Oak on Wednesday as the emergency personnel arrived on the scene. It appears that it was just a horrible accident, Freeman said. The construction work at the bridge on Highway 27 and 441 has spurred numerous automobile accidents in recent weeks. The Florida Department of Transportation is widening US 27 and 441 between Lake Ella Road and Avienda Central at Griffin Avenue in the villages. Both northbound, southbound US Highway 441 will be expanded to 3 lanes in this 4.157-mile, 3-year project. The $45 million widening project is scheduled to continue through 2023. Terrible. It's awful. A man who served 3 years in a New Jersey prison fondling a young girl's breast was arrested Wednesday morning at a home in the village of Hadley. Brian Joseph Quinn, 50, was taken into custody at 2513 Dunkirk Trail. He is on high-risk sex offender probation, and last year he moved into the villages. His parole officer indicated Quinn had failed to properly register with law enforcement, something he is required to do each January and July, according to an arrest report from the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. He was being held without bond at the Sumter County Detention Center. The victim was under the age of 13 and was the daughter of Quinn's live-in girlfriend, was sentenced to 3 years in a New Jersey prison. You know, some of these guys' mugshots, and girls too for that matter, when they get arrested, when you look at the mugshot, it's like, there's no doubt. This is one when you see it. A villager has been sentenced to 89 days in jail after a hit-and-run crash at a local restaurant. Kason Mills Hatfield, 44, who lives in the Greenwood Villas in the village of Calumet Grove, pleaded no contest Tuesday in Sumter County Court to charges of driving under the influence and leaving the scene of an accident. In addition to jail time, he will lose his driver's license for 6 months. That means he can't drive his golf cart either. The Atlanta, Georgia native has been lodged at the Sumter County Detention Center since his arrest November 29 by Sumter County Sheriff's deputies. In November, a woman reported that her 2014 Dodge Ram pickup was struck by a light blue 1994 Ford Ecoline 350 van in the parking lot of NYPD Pizza at 4046 Wildwood Lane in the Villages. The van also hit the rear bumper of an unoccupied gray 2017 GMC Arcadia according to the arrest report. While the owner of the pickup was being interviewed by deputies, the van returned to the parking lot. After pulling in, the driver of the van improperly parked, taking up 2 spaces. That's like every day. Hatfield rolled his windows down. The deputy immediately noticed the odor of the alcoholic beverage. Hatfield declined to participate in field sobriety exercise and would not provide breath samples. A criminal history check revealed in 2016 arrest on a charge of driving under the influence in Tennessee. An inventory of the van prior to towing it turned up a 12-pack of Bud Light with a black trash bag half full of empty beer cans. Big Cypress Recreational Center shuffleboard courts closed for resurfacing. They've been doing that a lot. They go around to each one of them and resurface all the pickleball courts and tennis courts and things like that. Bradenton Recreation Center and Family Pool closed Monday. Charlotte Neighborhood Recreation Area adult pool will be closed. An inspector for the Occupational Safety and Health Administration was on site asking questions Thursday as the U.S. Highway 27-441 widening project was shut down after a worker's death. John Joseph Terranova, 27 of Leesburg, died after a retaining wall caved in on him and he was buried in rubble at 4:30 p.m. Wednesday at the site where the bridge over County Road 25 being dismantled. It took emergency crews about 10 hours to recover his body from the construction site in Lady Lake. Sorry for the family. Community Watch receiving reports of coyotes, bobcats, and bears. Yes, they lived here first. You invaded their territory. They have nowhere else to go. So they're hunting the mice and the rabbits and your dog, maybe, because they're just trying to survive. I am always amazed about how people from all over the United States will move to an area like this, and the first thing that these ignorant people want to do is kill all the wildlife because it scares them. Starting to rant. A villager who wrecked her golf cart after drinking at the Christmas parade wants statements she gave to law enforcement to be suppressed. Karen Frances Hackett, 63, of the village of Liberty Park, is facing charges of driving under the influence and disorderly conduct following her December 11 arrest by Sumter County Sheriff's deputies. May drink my cappuccino and kind of calm down a little bit. Some of these things I read, they really, you don't see it, but inside me, they just irritate the heck out of me. The former Rock Island, Illinois resident began drinking the morning of the Christmas parade at the village's polo fields, according to the arrest report. By 7:30 p.m., disturbed diners at 2J's Gourmet Deli and Sonny's Barbecue watched as Hackett's golf cart hit the curb at Lake Sumter Landing. The impact knocked Hackett and a female passenger from the golf cart. The passenger suffered scraped knees and was vomiting. She was transported by ambulance to a local hospital. EMS personnel attempted to assess Hackett's condition, but she began yelling and cursing, including profanity, aimed at President Joe Biden. I don't get some of these people and they're thinking. I really don't. It's Biden's fault that she fell out of the golf cart, I guess. I don't know. Newly resurfaced shuffleboard courts have reopened at Church Street Recreation Center. Bingo open to residents every Friday night at Paradise Recreation Center. A roofing company manager has been arrested in alleged fraudulent activity involving a roofing contract at a home in the Villages. Lissa Skakes, 52, was arrested Thursday at Safe and Sound Roofing, located at 4313 East County Road 466 in Oxford. A representative of the roofing company paid an unsolicited visit on November 10 to a home in the village of Bridgeport at Lake Sumter. During the course of the salesman's visit, the victim signed what he was told by a salesman to be a non-obligatory contract to perform roofing work at the victim's residence, according to the arrest report from Sumter County's office. The salesman had the villager sign on an iPad. The villager showed the salesman his driver's license upon request. One of the documents signed electronically was a blank notice of commencement. This occurred in the victim's kitchen, and only he and the salesman were present, according to the victim's sworn statement. Gates, who is a notary and roofing company's office manager, was not present during the encounter. She reportedly notarized the document on December 3rd when the victim was not physically in her presence. Her notary commission is valid through June 26, the report noted, is charged with a felony count of fraud. Gates was taken into custody and booked at the Sumter County Detention Center. She was released after posting a $2,000 bond. A villager was arrested on a charge of disorderly intoxication after an incident at a dog park. Lady Lake police were called Tuesday afternoon to the Paradise Dog Park on the historic side of the Villages after 59-year-old Douglas Hirsch, who lives at 933 Tarson Boulevard, was arguing with a woman in a golf cart. Officers responded a second time at about 1:30 p.m. after paying a visit there about an hour earlier. During the first visit, Hirsch had been ordered to pour out a container which held an alcoholic beverage and dispose of it. Hirsch and the woman were encouraged to return to their residence. However, police returned an hour later and found Hirsch and the woman still in the parking lot of the dog park. Residents at the dog park complained that Hirsch was getting loud and his behavior was causing them concern for their own safety and the safety of others. Pennsylvania native was taken into custody and booked at the Lake County Jail. He pleaded no contest to the case upon his first appearance in Lady Lake Court. He was released after time served for spending 2 days in jail. There are just some people that they just can't handle alcohol of any kind or any amount. Just changes their whole personality. Here's a letter to the editor about a concern they have up at the historic side of the Villages. Shouldn't the historic side of the Villages have a real dog park? They do have one. I don't know what she means by real. 7 new parks in the new housing communities, and none are dirt or sand. Not good for dogs here in Paradise. It's time Villages directors, planners plant a grassy park here too. It's past to the point of telling us grass cannot grow under trees. Well, whether you believe that or not, I know exactly where you're at. Grass will not grow under those trees. The roots are everywhere. They're on top of the ground. You see them. Please give us a real dog park on our historic side. We are the original Villages, and we are being sold out and left behind. I got a little story about that, just a short one. What plans do you have for a new dog park for us? Commissioners, please tell us what we have to do to be included in developing and maintaining the historic side. S&M by Carl Margolis, the village of Orange Blossom Gardens. I'm just going to say that I do sympathize with the people up there because it does seem like that once the developer has turned that community over to their district, which is what they do, he's out of it. He doesn't plan anymore for you. He's gone. He's done. You need to go to your district representatives. That's who takes care of you, not the developer anymore. Remember, I don't even know how long ago it's been, a year, maybe 2 years ago, I reported on a couple of sinkholes that happened up, I think, around the Calumet area up there, and 2 of the homes were unlivable, and they sold them to some company. I think it's somehow they repair sinkholes and things and whatever. Anyway, just so people knows. I think it's part of the truth and disclosure when you buy a property here that they have to disclose that, I think. But see, we're 3 counties big, and I don't know if it's a county rule or a state rule. I don't know. But anyway, one of the homes is on the market now. Know what you're buying if you watch my channel. I'll try to get a good picture for you. A sinkhole damaged home in the Villages is on the market for $499,900. The home is located at 17092 Southeast 79th Street, McLaurin Terrace in the village of Calumet Grove. The home and the home next door were severely damaged by sinkholes on February 2018. Oh, it was a lot longer than a couple years ago, huh? Time flies. The 2,050 square foot home, which is now on the market, has 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. At the time the sinkholes opened, the home was occupied by Doris Morrill, widow of Alan Morrill, a highly regarded judge in the circuit court of Cook County. She was living in the home as a tenant for life and had to be rescued by firefighters in the wee hours of the residents reported hearing a loud bang. When the sun rose, it was revealed that the extent of the sinkhole damage. A report in 2018 surveying indicated that the house wasn't salvageable and should come down. That conclusion came from both Bowen Engineering of Orlando and Andreev Engineering Incorporated of Oxford, two firms working in conjunction with GeoView, a St. Petersburg-based company that conducted a geophysical investigation on Morrow's property. Many months followed when there was little or no action at the site. Later picked up by Hayden Robel of I Buy Sick Homes. Residents of Community Development District 4, where the home is located, were hit in 2018 with a 20% increase in their maintenance assessment to pay for repairs around the sinkhole site. Villagers fear worst when alligator attacks small animal at pond at country club. They were scared that this little animal this alligator was devouring was somebody's dog. It ended up being a raccoon, which is a natural thing between the two of them. Raccoons like to raid alligators' nests for the eggs, and even the young babies, they'll kill them and eat them. And then, of course, the alligator will eat the raccoon. I mean, it's just the way it is. Some people here, when they see a small thing like that, and they think somebody's dog got hit or got ate or whatever, and it will happen. Mention it on here. First of all, on every district that I know of, one of your district rules are anytime your pet is outside your house, it must be on a leash. You can't let it outside just run around willy-nilly. Now, I do know electric fences are permitted, so that kind of contains your animal to your property line. But what it does not do is keep properties outside that line from coming in. Just know that. You got a dog running around outside, a little dog, and you got an electric fence, and you think, well, not electric fence, what's going on? Invisible fence. Then your dog's safe. Well, your dog's out there, and this invisible fence will keep him contained to your area that you have with the invisible fence, your front yard or whatever, but it doesn't stop that coyote from coming in to get your dog. I don't know if people think about that anyway. A 98-year-old resident of the Villages was shocked to learn that her bank account had been drained of $104,372 by her granddaughter. Jessica Lee Lewis, 35, was arrested this past week on a felony warrant charging her with theft from a person over the age of 65. Lewis was released from a Florida prison and moved in with her grandmother on the historic side of the Villages. In addition to a previous grand theft conviction, Lewis served time on multiple drug charges. Grandma, are you not thinking straight? What are you doing? This elderly woman went to Sun Trust Bank to cash her Social Security check. Huh? We still get Social Security checks? They don't send out checks anymore. It's all direct deposit. So, what? Am I missing something here? Read this again. The elderly woman went to Sun Trust Bank to cash her Social Security check, but was told there were no sufficient funds in her account, according to an affidavit of probable cause from the Lady Lake Police Department. And maybe she went in there to cash a personal check to get some Social Security money out. Maybe that's what's going on here. Okay, whatever. The villager discovered Lewis had been making withdrawals from the account using an ATM card she had given to Lewis. Grandma, I'm sorry, I don't know what to say. The withdrawal ranged from $221.81 to $30,557. The grandmother ordered Lewis to leave her home. I told her to go to jail. Among the items Lewis left behind were letters from the bank, which Lewis had intercepted and not shown to her grandmother. Lewis had linked her PayPal account to her grandmother's bank account. Lewis also used money from the bank account to pay for phone calls to her boyfriend, 40-year-old Jermaine Harvard of Eustis, who has been held since August at a Marion County jail on a federal drug charge. Lewis also put money in Harvard's commissary account at the jail. Lewis was booked at the Lake County Jail on a $15,000 bond. Wildwood Seabreeze Recreation Center and pickleball courts to be resurfaced. A sentencing date has been set for a villager found sleeping in a truck at a gate near a section of the Morris family compound on County Road 466. Thomas Kent Brown, 51, of the village of Collier, pleaded no contest last week in Sumter County Court to a charge of driving under the influence. Sentencing has been set for March 31st. Brown was found at 3:07 a.m. August 15, 2020 in a black F-150 Ford pickup that was blocking the entrance gate to Glen Hollow Farms, according to the arrest report. When a police officer questioned Brown, he said he was parked there to chill out and was about to lay back and go to sleep when deputies arrived on the scene. He had removed his sandals and placed them under the truck's pedals. North Carolina native was invited to participate in field sobriety exercises, and he almost fell several times while the exercise was being conducted. A Coca-Cola glass was found in the cup holder of the truck, and it contained a liquid believed to be red wine. Brown agreed to provide breath samples, but the volume that he's provided wasn't enough to get a reading. They do that on purpose. You know that, right? I can't blow. I just can't blow. I can't do field sobriety exercises because I have this bad knee. Like the cops ain't heard that a million times. Letters to the editor. I was down at Spanish Spring Square and couldn't help to notice that the Spanish Spring stagecoach was gone from in front of Americano's restaurant. Was there a memo on the removal of the stagecoach? A memo? That's funny. That was sent in by William Condis, the village of Santo Domingo. I don't know anything about it. I haven't been up Spanish Springs in a long time, but my best guess, I'm just guessing here, one or two things. When they started building down at Finney years ago, they all down what's now called Warm Springs Avenue. There were stagecoaches spread out all down through there, all the way over here to the Brownwood Bridge on the golf cart trail down there along that little pond right there. There was a stagecoach down there, and they kind of spread them out, I think, trying to help guide people down to the new area so they could kind of see where things are at. And they would put them all down through there, maybe even to show future building that's going on. And that stagecoach disappeared years ago using it for that. Or it may have been sent out for refurbishing. You know, I mean, it's been sitting there for years. Maybe it needed some refurbishing. That's just my guess. A new restaurant is nearing an opening date at Mulberry Grove in the Villages. Back Porch will be taking over the former Cody's Original Roadhouse location near the shopping plaza in the Marion County section of the Villages. Yeah, Cody's just got that place opened up. That's when COVID hit, and of course you had that big shutdown thing, and people were refusing to go to work. And anyway, Cody's closed it. It wasn't even hardly open very long, and then they closed it. It's really a shame. The restaurant has begun interviewing for staff. Those who are interested can begin the application process at www.backporchmulberry.com/careers. An opening date has yet to be announced. Permit approved for a 7-Eleven gas station and convenience store at Magnolia Plaza. Great. First, it was Wawa invading everything. Now it's 7-Eleven. I am not a 7-Eleven fan from many years ago. I haven't been to a 7-Eleven but once in my entire life. The Honeymooners from New York to the Villages, an original play produced by Smash Productions, will be performed in March at the Savannah Center. A portion of the proceeds will benefit the Villages Shrine Club and your Humane Society, SPCA. Shows will be at 7 p.m. March 15th through 17th, with a matinee at 3 p.m. March 16th. The Honeymooners from New York to the Villages is an original play written by villagers Tina Shapiro and Carl Azarone Onushak, Onuschak. The lead characters are Gary Schubach as Ralph Cramden, Bill Crone as Ed Norton, Janet Maloney as Alice, and Tina Shapiro as Trixie. Billy Thatcher plays the mother. Yeah, I remember Honeymooners. A villager believes his golf cart video will exonerate him in a political stalking case. Ed McGinty, 73, of the village of Hadley, had been scheduled to face a jury this week in Sumter County Court. The case has been continued until March. McGinty, a vehement anti-Trumper, is well known in the Villages for large signs posted around his golf cart and high visibility areas of the friendliest hometown. McGinty was arrested for stalking charges September 24th. He had been banned from the Hadley pool the previous day after verbally assaulting the woman he had been wearing Joe Biden's Sucks t-shirt. Damn, these political people around here need to find a life. A villager who drank at the Finney Grill has been fined in the wake of an accident in which his girlfriend was thrown from a golf cart he was driving. Ronald Joseph Zarley, 69, who lives at 1017 Boone Court on the historic side of the Villages, pleaded no contest to a charge of reckless driving last week in the Sumter County Court. He has been ordered to pay $483.40 in fines and court costs. The warrant was issued for his arrest after his girlfriend was airlifted October 17th to Ocala Regional Medical Center. That's because we don't have a trauma center here. Ocala is the closest trauma center. And she was thrown from a golf cart. Zarley was driving at Finney Way and Penny Lane near the Blue Heron Recreation Center in the village of Finney. She had suffered a head injury. Zarley admitted he had made an abrupt turn and the woman was thrown from the golf cart, hit her head on the asphalt. To come from the historical area down to the Finney Bar and Grill by golf cart is quite a ride. District Property Management has scheduled asphalt rejuvenation at numerous villa communities in the villages. Here's the schedule. I reported this guy last week for a theft of a golf cart, and they found him in Leesburg, the golf cart. And I keep telling people, quit doing business with people running around in a pickup truck and a trailer. You might be okay, but why take the chance? A flooring installer suspect in the theft of a villager's golf cart is facing an additional charge. Nevada Alabegan, 31, has been lodged since January 19th at the Lake County Jail, was charged last week with grand theft auto. He is accused of stealing the keys to a 2014 Jeep Patriot registered to his girlfriend. Megan, who was wanted on a warrant, was at the wheel of the vehicle on January 15th when he led law enforcement on a chase before abandoning the Jeep Patriot in Fruitland Park. Megan was wanted in the theft of a black club car golf cart stolen in November from a home on Kensington Place in the village of St. Charles. The golf cart's owner said Megan had been in his home installing the laminate floor. Megan is also charged with stealing tools from the previous employer, Wildwood Flooring. The tools, valued at $3,362, were later pawned at Value Pawn in Leesburg. Megan is being held without bond in jail. Keep him there. Lisa Hayhoe from the village of St. Catherine, East Lansing, Michigan, got her first hole-in-one on Friday at hole number 9 of the Sweet Gum Executive Golf Course. Congratulations, Lisa. Remember I told you that everything's open to the public here? A suspect with drugs tucked in a Crown Royal bag was arrested near the Sawgrass Grove Marketplace under construction in the villages. Roland Leland Thompson, 57, of Lady Lake, was riding as a passenger in a black 2007 Chevrolet pickup truck pulling a trailer when it was stopped for inoperable tail lights and brake lights at 10:44 a.m. Thursday on Megason Road at Rudell Wall, according to an arrest report from the Wildwood Police Department. Thompson was in possession of a purple Crown Royal bag that contained marijuana, rolling papers, and a glass pipe, and tested positive for methamphetamine. He also had a pack of 305 menthol cigarettes, which contained a marijuana cigarette and a crystalline substance identified as methamphetamine. He was arrested on charges of possession of methamphetamine, possession of marijuana, and possession of drug equipment. He was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center on a $5,000 bond. And he's roaming around down there in a brand new area where they're still constructing things. Who knows what he was down there for? He doesn't live here. You know, some of these thieves around here, whether they're from here or not from here, I don't know. They just seem to be getting brazen more and more. 3 suspected liquor thieves at Publix at Lake Deaton Plaza in the villages are being sought by law enforcement. Sumter County Sheriff's Office responded to the Publix liquor store at 8:26 p.m. Saturday. Video surveillance system showed 3 males entering the liquor store. The older male grabbed a shopping basket and filled it with several bottles of liquor. The 2 younger males grabbed a couple of bottles each, and they all fled the store on foot with a basket of bottles. All 3 males passed all points of sales with the merchandise. The liquor store clerk advised the 3 males walked into the store and were lingering toward the front. One of the younger men said he was ready to check out, and as soon as the clerk went behind the counter, all 3 men ran out of the store with 6 bottles of liquor valued at more than $300. The Wildwood Police Department worked a similar call that evening at Publix at Grand Traverse Plaza in the villages. Both of them in the villages. Anyone with information in this case, and they may be able to identify the 3 suspects, is asked to contact Detective Zen at 352-793-2621. I don't know, man. I just don't get it. I don't know where people get off thinking, that they could just walk in a store and just take whatever they want and walk out. I mean, I just don't get it. And I see it on the news all the time where nationwide, it just seems like it's an epidemic. Okay, that being it, I think that's it for the Village's news for this week. So with that being said, I'm going to get out of here and just say, don't leave your keys in a golf cart.